I think whenever our friends come to visit, we need to bring them here.
This would definitely be at the top of the list. Yeah, it does. It all looks yummy.
Thank you. You're welcome. Hi, you ready to check in? What's the name?
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay, y'all are going to be in Evans today. So right at that 1 o'clock dinner bell when we call Evans, you'll have a host waiting right in the hallway to take you in and get you seated. You're welcome. Y'all are welcome to take a look inside. There is a gift shop.
So this is a cool house. So it used to be a boarding house?
Yes.
Oh, cool. So now it's a boarding house turned restaurant.
There's a gift shop.
Oh. Yeah, the floors are cool.
There you go. You're gonna eat now.
Yeah.
That's good.
She writes.
Here's some
This must be a waiting room.
Nice.
Oh, all these are dining rooms, look, with the family names. That's neat.
This piece of furniture. Replica of the house.
Yeah. Whoa, look at that. That is cool.
It's beautiful. Look at the artwork. Even the sides.
That's pretty cool, isn't
That's
it?
beautiful.
Such beautiful rooms.
Can we get one of those?
I only wound it a little bit, but look how much it's moving.
It's amazing. It's so beautiful.
It is.
And look, there's extra plates underneath. You can change them out.
Oh, wow. That's neat. Bring back the good old days. Love it. That's another one set up probably for a later meal. This is really neat what they did with this.
Check that out.
That's a neat compass.
I feel like we should have that.
Yeah, you never get lost.
Madame Mayor's Adventures.
Oh yeah, Madame Mayor's Adventures compass. And look at all the lake stuff.
They have so much cute stuff here.
They do.
It's dangerous. Nature is the greatest place to heal and recharge.
You got that right.
Oh, look.
And they got campers.
We go together like cocoa and s'mores, baby.
That's right.
Maybe we need this for our lake house. I love you to the lake and back.
Oh.
See it way down there. So much good stuff. That's your whiskey holder.
There it is. This one's empty though. What's wrong with that picture?
Somebody had a good lunch.
Hey, can't nobody tell me nothing.
So excited.
Take a stab at it.
I'm so excited.
Yeah. I've taken her home many times. It's always
Tidbit plates.
alright, we'll see you later.
I think we need something like this
Oh, you can
for our larger utensils because we don't have drawer space for them.
get some chicken salt and pepper shakers. Tidbit plates.
The local egg dealer.
We better go.
Yeah, they're calling for us.
Where you from? Okay. Business?
This is SEC country. You got Alabama, you got Tennessee.
Got your Bulldogs.
Uh-oh, even Georgia makes an appearance. And Auburn.
Page out. Wash your hands and say your prayers because germs and Jesus are out. Raising my husband is so exhausting.
I don't see a so in there.
There's a fire in our house, but it looks like it's Mr. and Mrs.
We always hear about real severity of it all.
Here's the key. That's the key everybody needs.
Oh,
The key to a happy marriage. Forget about the golden key. That's the key.
the silver key.
Yeah.
They have a bag.
What that allows us to do is it allows every high school graduate to go to any two-year university in South Tennessee for free. The only thing that it doesn't cover is all of the tiny fees that are associated with the program, and that's where the generosity of Brown Forman, Jack Daniels, and this very Bobo where they allow us to come here. We're on salary, we get to keep all the tips that are left on the table. We get a gas stipend every month that we're in school. And then on top of that, we get to work here and pay for our books, our lab fees, our tech fees, and all the other fees that are associated. In exchange of that, all we have to do is come here. We do pretty much everything except for code. We get to work with great people, and we get to meet great people.
Awesome.
Very cool.
That's about it.
Nice.
Now, they always underscore. They start with 21 really sharp high school seniors, and they're really sharp kids. Whittle it down to about 7, and they're just a joy to be around. So they keep me straight, keep me in the right place at the right time. And you're 19?
I'm 18.
18. We have another couple here. He's 91, she's 86, and they're as sharp as you could ask any pencils to be. So I get to be around these really sharp 90-year-olds and really sharp 18 to 20-year-olds. So it's a pretty great mix, a unique mix. I'm very lucky. Like I say, I break out of the nursing home. They don't really miss us till it's meds times at about 4:30 or 5. You get to be up here 4 hours a day. It's about as good as I'm going to have. James makes me. He keeps me in the right place at the right time. He's going to go to Ole Miss in a little bit. What are you going to major in there?
Finance.
Finance.
You do micro?
I was more focused on the business side of it. So I'm just trying to like do business finance.
James, thank you so very much. If you got any sort of a food replenishment, let James know. Here in a little bit, we're going to take up these plates and bring the pies out. Y'all keep eating till you have to take a nap.
That's the card right there.
Yes, sir.
Excuse me.
How many of y'all have eaten MREs before? Notice we have Tabasco sauce here, macaroni Tabasco sauce. That's also the one that was in the MREs. I understood they just took them out of the MREs. And what does macaroni have to do with Jack Daniels? They season their Tabasco sauce in Jack Daniels barrels. So there's a smidge of Jack Daniels in every MRE. But somebody just recently told me from Lunatic Labs that they took the Tabasco sauce out.
They did.
Sometimes that was the only decent part of it.
Yeah,
I was lucky enough to get an older one, and they had a very tiny Tabasco bottle in there.
Yeah.
But now that they don't have them now.
MRE either stood for meals ready to eat or meals rarely edible. And I'm an old guy, so I remember when we went from the C-Rat.
C-Rats.
C-Rat was about as good as you could ask for the old ration. You could actually cook it, smell it, taste it. And then went to the MREs in '83 when I had my first one. I thought, well, the commies have won. It's all over with.
Could you pass the butter, please?
Wow. They issued us P38s.
Oh, yeah.
We never got no C-Rats.
But you could get the P38, and you could, if it was really bad, the weather falling apart, you would have 2 ponchos. You would have your poncho with your poncho liner and a real heavy, thick poncho. So what you could do was, you're out in the field, you're miserable, you throw your heavy-duty poncho over you, and you cook your C-rations on that little trioxylose.
Or the chicken.
That thing would get so warm, you could dry off your clothes, at least this side, but it wouldn't get the back side. But it was supposedly it was poisonous, so you weren't supposed to be, but you were trying to get warm, and for whatever reason, if you covered it up, kept the fresh air from coming into it, it didn't run you out of it. But there was sometimes that trioxylone, you would have to run from that stuff. But if you had 3 C-rations, 1 trioxylone tablet was good for one. You break it into thirds, so you'd have 1 for the whole. 1 tablet would be good for the whole day. I got really good at being able to eat out in the field, cooking my own food and stuff.
I was happy as long as we had coffee.
I didn't start drinking coffee until I made E8, I think.
Really? I came in drinking coffee. I'm a coffee guy. Yeah, I'll tell you a funny story in basic training. You know, did you have a blow-up mattress? You blew them up and put them on the ground. You sleep on top of them with your sleeping bag. We had a big kid in our class, and so we was out on the bivouac blowing up our mattresses. And he was blowing it up, and then he got up, and the drill sergeant came along, and he got up and he swung and knocked the crap out of the drill sergeant. And his excuse was he was dizzy from blowing up the blow mattress. So the doctors came along and they confirmed it, and the commander took all the mattress pads away from us after that. And we ended up just a regular pad that you roll up. It was terrible.
We came up with some really bad ideas in the 80s.
Yeah, they did.
Oh.
But I'll never forget that.
And they still issue that thing.
Yeah, they
and
do.
they're still jumping with that thing connected to the top of their rucksack.
However, the sleeping bags are top notch. Gore-Tex sleeping bags, they are comfortable and they're warm.
Sleeping system, they call it.
Yeah, sleeping system.
I've heard so many different stories that if you got them really, really tight, they would lose some of the heat capacity. Back when I first came in, if it was Arctic weather, you would put an intermediate inside of an Arctic sleeping bag. So you had like 50 pounds worth of sleeping bag. That's what we did up in Alaska anyway. But you know, think about that was 50 years ago.
So June, July, you said July, August, is the days long?
June 21st is summer solstice, so that's the longest day of the year.
Longest day?
You won't see the sunset.
And what, 20 hours?
Well, it depends on where you are in the state, but if you're up toward Fairbanks, the more north you are, then the more light you get. And Anchorage gets about 2.5 hours, maybe less light.
Oh, really?
Y'all have a good meal.
It's hard to
Wonderful. Where y'all going to next from here?
Back to Nashville.
Back to Nashville.
We're gonna walk around the town for a bit. No hurry after we ate all this food.
No. But you're gonna go back to Shelbyville to get the
To Shelbyville.
It's time. Drive to the nearest grain distillery. It's well worth it.
By the nearest what?
You go by the nearest grain distillery.
Well, we're gonna head down
You go by
to
the Shelbyville Airport.
And there was a huge one across the street from it. Yeah.
It's well worth it in the breaks to go.
It's good.
I recommend it. In my opinion, it's strictly a novice opinion. We got
Anybody with the AC/DC t-shirt?
We got George Dickel in Tullahoma.
They're all right with me.
Over there.
I grew up I was living in the Bronx. About 1977, 78. I cut school.
At the time,
to go down a 3-hour train ride to go to Madison Square Garden to see AC/DC. Me and my buddies from school.
It's just not fun to
got caught.
The cell phones at school.
And I was punished for 3 months after that, but it was worth it. But my mom could not understand what the hell was I listening to. You know, she said, "What is it?" Because I'm the Bronx in the '70s, so it was R&B, and so we're Puerto Rican, so it's salsa music in our house. So they don't know anything about Boston, foreign, or any of that stuff. She's like, "What are you listening to?" "It's AC/DC, Mom. You just don't understand." But I spent 4 years in Long Island before that. It's a foster family, white people, and so this is the music I listen to. I brought it with me to the Bronx.
There you go.
And my friends are like, "Whoa, what the hell are you doing?" But the next year I did the same thing, but to go see Earth, Wind, and Fire.
In Madison
Square
Garden
Garden, yeah. Got in trouble again, but it was worth it. Now that was a concert. Yeah, Earth, Wind, and Fire. But AC/DC, man, but they still have the original singer.
I think so. No?
They didn't have the original singer there?
No,
He's got vocal problems right now and stuff. So.
Oh, no. Back then.
Can I get the chicken?
Back in the 70s, the original guy, yeah. Not the guy that is now.
Yeah.
But that was an awesome concert, too.
Yeah.
Now here in a few minutes, the young people are going to come in and they're going to take this food away. Eat as much as you can because it's going to have to be disposed of. We can't let it go through another meal.
Oh, that's
And when they come in, that's when I start giving you a little bit of history about Miss Mary Bobo's. So if y'all are ready for History 101, how many of y'all have eaten here before? You have?
Yeah.
Okay. Now keep in mind we're in the Evans room. Other side of us is the Jasper room. Other side over here is the Tolly room. That's 3 rooms. You go upstairs, we have 3 rooms also. I call it the fusion floor. We have the Motlow room. We have the Parks room and the Archer room. Now over here, this house, Miss Mary Bobo gives it to her son-in-law, and the bed and breakfast is pretty much still, you might say, in the family. The Feuding floor, Mr. Parks' room. Mr. Parks has a Ford dealership. He stays here. Mr. Motlow has the bank. He stays here.
Wow.
Somebody said something to somebody, and they feuded for 30 years.
Huh.
The only time they would wave to each other was a one-finger wave before the deals. They just could not stand each other. Finally, Mr. Parks says, I met her. I met the perfect woman. I'm going to get married. Mr. Motlow says, good. So how does Mr. Motlow celebrate Mr. Parks, the Ford dealer, leaving? Mr. Motlow goes down to Fayetteville and buys a Chevrolet. They just could not stand each other. If you go into the basement, that's the coolest part of this building. You've got 3 rooms there. At the Gant room, we have the Fanning room and the Roundtree room. So what I like to do is occasionally show my skills with math, which aren't much. But this Saturday, we're going to have 3 meals. We're going to have each room filled up. We'll be able to feed about 320 people over a 4-hour period with food this level. Now, I've got to be real honest, I'm incredibly prejudiced toward Miss Mary Bobo's food. I think the price is exquisite, but the food is brought right to you. And I just absolutely love when I go someplace else, I'll compare their dollars to our dollars, and I'll say, no, you get a lot more bang for your bite here than you do a lot of other places. So this Saturday we're going to be cooking. Beautiful time of the year. But why are we even here? Now let's imagine it's 1817 and maybe you, sir, are told to come into the office of your supervisor up in Nashville. You're an engineer and a surveyor. Your name is Roundtree. Surveyor says, I got a job for you. Down in southern part of Tennessee, there's enough traffic on the roads that we think there's going to be a community. We want you to go down and design, lay out the community, lay out the street. So what does Mr. Roundtree do? Comes here to what we now call Lynchburg. At that time, it was part of Lincoln County. He lays out the town. What does he do? You're going to see a spring downstairs. Good water was crucial. He put his house right next to the spring. Now, it's a trickle now because the water's been rearranged, but the water here is a tributary from the Cave Springs water. Mr. Roundtree does a brilliant job. Sets it up really good. His wife likes it, but he dies about 5 years later. Now, when he passed on, the better days started. Now, how many of y'all are from Tennessee? All right. I got a feeling you know the answer. Who was the 7th president of the United States?
Andrew Jackson. Andrew Jackson, yeah.
Andrew Jackson. Right, sir, you get a free piece of pie. This fellow right here, we'll pass him around, Andrew Jackson. Now, Andrew Jackson, what is he unique for? After his days of the presidency, he gets to come back to Tennessee, and he's a traveling judge. We know for sure he'd stay here. It was just a very nice log cabin, a meeting place, and when he was judge, at least 2 people were sentenced to be hung. So maybe that's where the name Lynchburg comes from. How many of y'all familiar with that great American frontiersman, David Crockett?
Yeah.
You go down Highway 64, it's called David Crockett Highway. Him and Jackson cannot stand each other. I don't think they both ate here, but I know when Jackson got the email that David Crockett was dead at the Alamo, he wasn't too unhappy with it. So, sir, Mr. Roundtree, you pass on, your wife runs it, she does a great job. About 1850, she says, enough is enough. I miss the kids in Nashville. So, sir, you sell to a doctor's, or Mrs. Roundtree sells to Dr. Selma. Selma's got something everybody wants. He's got too much money, doesn't know how to spend it. He's going to spend it cleaning up this place. So we're no longer a really nice log cabin. We're now known as the Grand Central Hotel. Y'all came through the arches. He adds that. He gives this the Southern antebellum look, and he spends plenty of money. So at that time, Jasper Newton Daniels would come down here and eat. We also know for sure that the great gangster Frank James ate here at least one time. Any Senator Gore has eaten here many, many times. They don't say skinny long in Tennessee. They come down here and eat. So it's an absolutely great place to be. It's going to change dramatically though in about 1807. It is the Grand Central Hotel. Wonderful place to party. So I want everybody here to give me a great party look. Please do that. Good party look, good party look. A great place to party. It's going to change dramatically in 1907. Why is that? Because of you, ma'am. What's your first name?
Maria.
Maria. Maria, we're going to change your name. I want you to look at everybody here. Tell them. Go ahead, do it.
My name is Miss Barry Wingo. I'm 27 years old. And if you think I'm hot now, just wait.
That's exactly right. Now keep in mind, this is the image we have of Miss Mary Bobo. That's not fair. They have 27 years old, you and look at your husband, and say, husband, I love you desperately.
Husband, I love you desperately.
Now say, baby dog, give me some money.
Me or him?
You say,
oh, you baby dog, you give me some money.
He reaches into his wallet, and they combine their worth, come up with $2,500, and they buy this place from the Selman. Now keep in mind what she is. We make a big deal today out of a woman-owned business, don't we? There's a marketing arena for that. That's exactly what she is. She was the first female business person in Moore County. She's absolutely brilliant at it. She's not always nice. She's a very religious, very pious woman. Her and her husband are going to run the place a little bit differently. Now everybody here, I want you to give me the party look again, please. Go ahead and do that. Miss Mary, you're going to look at them and you're going to say,
Boys, the good time is over. I'm cracking the whip.
So she brings law and order to the Grand Central Hotel, which is pretty much what we needed. Now, keep in mind, in 1907, what is not here? Whiskey. The Jack Daniels distillery is going under at that time. The laws, I shouldn't say going under, but it's illegal to make the whiskey. It's just all sorts of crazy stipulations. You can't be within 400 feet of a school. 400 feet of a church is just about impossible. So there's very little business here. Miss Mary is brilliant at keeping the place going. People love to stay here. I'm going to imagine, ma'am, you're a school teacher. Why don't you ask Miss Mary if you can stay here, please?
Miss Mary, can I stay here?
Miss Mary, you're a lady of guidance. You can look at her and say, yes, you can, but your feet will never touch the stairs.
Yes, you can, but your feet will never touch the stairs.
Boys upstairs, girls downstairs. Don't even think about bumping in the stairs. She really cleans the place up. The Grand Central Hotel days are over. She brings law and order to this place. And ma'am, I've talked to a number of people who stayed here. They said it was very, very straight. There was no fooling around. Y'all are going to get to have a little bit of whiskey in your pie. Miss Mary would allow whiskey one day a year. It would be in the custard on Christmas Day. She completely brings law and order. Also, you bring a sense of thrift that very few people have. She could get $1.50 out of any dollar. Now, good examples in the room next door. Some things I hope never change. You go into the Jasper room, named after Jasper Newton Daniels. You look through the window, you will see 3 blue window panes. What in the world do we have 3 blue window panes for? When the panes break, Miss Mary sends the maintenance guy down. He's probably mouse camp. He goes down to the hardware store. He says, Miss Mary, I can get 3 panes for 15 cents or 3 blue ones for 6 cents. Of Go back and get the blue ones. You look in that window over there, you'll see the 3 blue window panes, 6 cents all total. They've lasted through the renovation and been up there about 75 years. You were brilliant at getting things done at minimal cost. Now look at Miss Mary Bobo. Are you a good cook, ma'am? We never found out.
He was supposed to jump in on that.
She didn't do any cooking, but she knew how. She trained up the staff. Man, you never cooked one bean, you never cooked one chicken, but she trained the staff up brilliantly. Miss Mary, if you show everybody your hands, please. Let's see your hands. Now, those hands were absolutely great with getting the mules and horses together, get the teams together. You were a very good horse person. She would go all through the county area to get the best food at the best price. In the old days, if you walked back this way toward the Mulberry Creek, there was a great farm or a great garden, and she grew a lot of her own food. So she runs this place when there's minimal food, minimal money. She does a brilliant job of it. Miss Mary, this lady's going to be living here for about $12.50 a month. So what did you get for that $12.50? How many of y'all are from the Deep South? How many of y'all remember your grandparents cooking in the morning on a wood-burning stove? If you don't believe in hell, you will after that. So they would cook 3 great meals on the wood-burning stove. You get a great breakfast, a great lunch, the magic tablecloth comes out, and that's going to be your supper. And all that for about $12.50 a month. It was a great deal. Miss Mary, NuSkin is the fellow that's working over there. I'm going to give you an idea of how good you were at people. You're going to hear a knock on your door. Miss Mary, I need a job. Can I please work here?
Yes.
Fantastic. She said, no, I'd have to sit down. She says, yes. Now, who am I? I got a room downstairs named after me. Any of y'all familiar with the movie called Radio? Has anybody seen that movie? Radio? Maybe. Get a chance to watch. You got a guy named Cuba Gooding Jr. in it. Radio is a little bit off upstairs. He's a very stout, very strong black guy. But he comes up and says to Miss Mary, I can do anything needs to be done. Fix chairs, whatever. She says, fine. He lives in this white building that's right over here. He stays here for years and years. Now, NuSkin was unique in one way. What he loved to do was what you just got to be a part of. The bell rings, NuSkin will ring the bell. But he doesn't just ring the bell. He wears the starched white shirt. He's got the tablecloth over his arm. And when he rings the bell, he brings a certain amount of formality to it. All of y'all here look very comfortable, don't you? If you read and hear back in those days, it'd be at a bare minimum a white tie, a white shirt with a black tie. Just a different time back then. NuSkin does a great job. Miss Mary does a great job. It's going about as good as you could ask a place to go. Miss Mary, we survived World War II. Now, some of y'all are military people. How did Jack Daniels contribute to the war effort during World War II? We made torpedo propellant here. So whatever skills they had before, because we did start making whiskey in 37, we made torpedo propellant here. Miss Mary, look at your husband again and say, baby doll, I desperately love you.
Baby doll, I desperately love you.
Now tell him goodbye.
Goodbye.
Because he dies in 1947. So when he passes on, no longer the young, beautiful Miss Mary becomes more like this lady right here. This would be Miss Mary sitting in this doorway, looking at the room back over there. Miss Mary, hate to say it, she does start to get old. So what happens when you get old? You fall and break bones. At some point, we're not sure exactly when it was, she falls and breaks her hip. She makes the decision, it's just too much work to be boarding everybody. It's going to be strictly an eating place. So it becomes a very well-known eating place. But Miss Mary, it's about 1982. She's been here a long time. How long has she been here? What's your name, sir?
Bart. Bart.
We're going to change your name. My name is NBC News Weatherman on the Today Show.
My name is Willard Scott, NBC Weatherman on the Today Show.
Now, y'all can't remember Willard Scott, but he was the Walter Cronkite of weathermen. He said it's going to rain 10 drops, it's only going to rain 10. Not 9, not 11. You've got a brilliant staff with you, sir. The staff member right next to you says, I got the information you need.
I got the information you need.
And what does he do? He gets on nationwide TV, 7:07 in the morning on the Today Show. And this is what you tell everybody. Down in Lynchburg, Miss Mary's 100. Everybody sent her a birthday card.
Down in Lynchburg, Miss Mary's 100. Everyone sent her a birthday card.
Everybody sends her a birthday card. Everybody does. Everybody should be happy except you. You aren't just unhappy, you're furious. I want you to point your finger at Miss Mary and say, don't you ever do this.
Don't you ever do this again.
Miss Mary, you received someplace between 5,000 and 7,000 birthday cards. He's the postmaster. It's just a one-person show. You're absolutely wrong. You received 13 birthday cakes, 3 letters of proposal. The thing I'm kind of getting a big kick out of was who really went out of their way to get you a birthday card. Now, today, very political, isn't it? Tonight's going to be no telling what. 1984 is a little bit different. You see birthday cards from this gentleman right here.
Jimmy Carter.
And this gentleman right here. Now, how long is that? We'll pass this around. President Carter is going to be 100 in a few weeks. We're going to try to send him a birthday card from Miss Mary.
That's good.
So Miss Mary, you are absolutely the belle of the hall. You couldn't be doing any better than this. Now, the weatherman, he's got you on the news. But this gentleman right here has plans for you. Now, sir, you look like you'd be a great journalist. Give Jack Daniels credit. They spend someplace, I think the number was $70,000 advertising that Miss Mary is going to be 100 years old. So they gather all the print people up. The exact details, I'm not sure, but they all come down here and they get to interview Miss Mary. Now, why don't you ask Miss Mary what the secret to her success is?
What's the secret of your success?
Any answer you want to give would be fine.
Hard work and determination.
Hard work and determination, perfect. So you write that down and you say, do you mind if I take your picture?
You mind if I take your picture?
Perfect. Takes the picture. A few months later, Miss Mary tells everybody.
Find me another 100-year-old as hot as me in Playboy magazine.
From Playboy. We didn't do a whole lot of vetting like we should have. Now, Miss Mary, you're not in the middle part of the party. Since I was back in the Army, I had to study mostly at least 12 times a year. We were like on page 248. She also mentioned Sports Illustrated. We had no clue that it was Playboy. We were very proud of it. You want to see Miss Mary in Playboy? Go into the gift shop, you'll see the picture about your left shoulder height. That's the picture that was in Playboy magazine. So Miss Mary, she makes it into Playboy and she dies just a little bit shy of her 102nd birthday. Now when she passes on, the building is pretty old. 1984, the building is kind of iffy. We don't have a picture of her here, but an absolutely supermodel woman takes over running the place. Her name is Lynn Tolley. Got a room named after her right over here, the Tolley room. Lynn Tolley was a stunning, beautiful woman. And when she takes over, she could go out and charm the skin out of the snake. You'd be waiting to come inside, it'd be hot. She was absolutely brilliant, making the place run right. At this point, Jack Daniels has bought it. And Jack Daniels a huge amount of credit. This is an old building. The building's maybe not going to last. Local citizens concerned. Jack Daniels said, we're going to fix it up, and they shut it down from 04 to 06 and bring it up to code. So what we have now is the 9 rooms that feed everybody up there very well. We have a couple of bathrooms. We didn't have all that before. We had the elevator. We moved the kitchen upstairs and up downstairs up to here. So Miss Mary's, it's been here longer than Jack Daniels, but Jack Daniels had a shutdown period for about 30 years, and this marriage pretty much kept going. Very few places that are eateries can be churning out the food for almost, probably 205 years we've been servicing the food here. So give Miss Mary a big hand. She was because we are in the deep south, we're going to have a, we're going to rise, you need to be alive now, sir.
You need to tip your postman.
Here a little bit, once the pie comes out, this is my best 5 seconds of the day. because you'll get to taste the cream in it. We'll bring the pie out in just 1 minute or so. Hopefully get rid of the MREs.
Here's to the soldier.
Now, anybody want any coffee?
I want coffee.
Yeah.
I'm informing yet, so Mr. Motlow's the manager. He gets this mail and he says, yep. He says, Herb, I want you to go downstairs or go someplace and pick the best whiskey you can. Why? In Brussels, Belgium, is going to be the world's best whiskey competition. So we get the letter, and Mr. Mottlow says to Herb, take care of it. He fully expects Herb to get with the master distillers and find the best whiskey around. Herb Fanning, his thinking is this.
A bottle of Jack is a bottle of Jack is a bottle of Jack.
So what does he do? He goes down to the bottling house and he picks 7 bottles and sends them over there. Now you, sir, are going to be Mr. Tom Mottlow.
Okay.
You are waiting for the master distillers to come up and say, yep, we picked it out. The master distillers haven't done that yet. You keep waiting and finally you say to Herb Fanning,
Herb, when are you gonna take care of it?
Right away.
He's already done it. This is when you find out they did not get with the master distillers. You are furious. You look at Herb Fanning and you say, buddy, your days of working here are just about over. Herb Fanning is going to be history. But, sir, wouldn't mind reading this, please.
According to the Mr. Herb, when the folks in the advertising department find out that he has pulled whiskey for the competition of the bottling line, they were a bit upset and asked him why he hadn't looked for some special whiskey for judging. To this, Mr. Herb explained why all Jack Daniel is special. Later, Mr. Herb is recalling the story, said he figured he might get fired over that. But about the time another letter came announcing that Jack Daniel's Tennessee whiskey had won the Star of Excellence.
That's right. We won the best whiskey in the world in 1954 just because you went down and picked them out. After that, Herb Fanning could not be fired. He was pretty much untouchable. You go down onto the square, you'll see right next to our store a gentleman playing checkers, and that is the statue of Herb Fanning. Fannings have been around here for years and years. There's always been Fannings working here. Your great-granddaughter was one of the best basketball players ever at Moore County High School. Really? Fanning, like I said, we got a room named after him. He's been here for a long, long time. We got the Gant room downstairs, and we also got the Roundtree room. Now, we're in the Evans room. Why are we in the Evans room? Now, you were Miss Mary Bobo, weren't you? Before you married Mr. Bobo, you were in Evans. And the Evans were here for many, many years, so of course we named the Evans room after him. Now, can anybody spell Bobo for me?
B-O-B-O.
It was originally French. It was B-E-U-G-H, B-A-U-G-H. It had a unique spelling. It becomes more Americanized. It becomes Bobo. You know how lucky you are, ladies and gentlemen. Push the button on the back, please. On the back of it. Should be a button back here.
Hold it. Bend this down, I guess.
Anyway, we have Frank Sinatra here. At this moment, Frank Sinatra, you see this thing.
Blue eyes.
Well, Frank's had a rough day. You can see his arms broken, his legs are broken. Blue can only go just so much. Frank Sinatra in the mid-50s is the biggest star in the world. That's it. There's Frank Sinatra, there's everybody else. Frank Sinatra likes to get with his buddies. Who are your buddies, sir?
Jack.
And who else? Remember these guys here?
Dean Martin.
Yeah, Martin.
Let's pass
The Rat Pack.
The Rat.
Yeah, Rat Pack, yeah.
The Rat Pack. Dean Martin, shall we
Dean
pass
Martin,
it?
yeah.
The other ones were there. Sammy Davis Jr.
Sammy Davis, that's what I was trying to think of.
You would imagine, sir, you came in from Boston to Las Vegas to be entertained. You hear Frank Sinatra's there, you want to go down and listen to it. Fantastic. You might have come in from Wyoming, or maybe you were in London or someplace. Frank Sinatra's the biggest thing in the world. You get to hear Frank Sinatra sing, but Sinatra does not have something that says, I'm Sinatra. Does not have his own special drink. So who does he get in touch with? What's your name, sir?
Chris.
Not anymore. Tell him what your name, please.
My name is Jackie Gleason from
The Honeymooners.
Honeymooners.
Y'all remember the Honeymooners?
Yeah.
Jackie Gleason was
Jackie
one of the
Gleason.
biggest TV stars of the 50s. He's one of the biggest singers. You're going to say, Jackie, I need my own specific drink, something that says I'm Frank. And what do you recommend?
Try something from Tennessee.
He does, and Jack Daniels and Frank Sinatra were the best thing could have happened. He never got paid one dime from Jack Daniels. But he'd be on the stage in Las Vegas or at the Copa, wherever he was at, saying, this is a gentleman's drink. We went from about 400,000 bottles a year to 1.2 million. The Sinatra effect on Jack Daniels can never be overstated. I bought two bottles.
What year?
Well, it was about 1950. Because we got sold to Brown and Foreman. Mr. Motlow sold to Brown and Foreman about that time. It's about the same time that Sinatra really got on board. Sinatra had his own special blend, 2 Fingers Jack, 4 ice cubes, and the rest water. And the first glass of Jack Daniels I had in November of 1976, I didn't realize it at the time, that was the exact way my stepfather made it. And y'all, have y'all done the tour already today?
Yep.
Did you go through the office building? Did y'all say hi to my uncle? My uncle was the 4th distiller, Jess Gamble.
Oh, wow.
So now we weren't close. I didn't go off as my uncle. He became an uncle by marriage. My mother married his brother, but he was a classic man. So when I wanted to get a job here back in '02, when I told everybody Jess Gamble was my uncle, it was amazing how many people said, Mr. Jess, he was a good man. So you go out to the cemetery, you'll see the Jack Daniels grave site there. It's got 2 chairs there. You see the Motlows and stuff. It's a fantastic history in this area. And I just absolutely love it.
You do resemble him from that picture.
Pardon, sir?
I think you do resemble him from that picture.
Well,
Picture.
So we just had a great lunch at Mary Bobo's restaurant. What did you think?
I think that was the best lunch I've ever had. That food was amazing.
It's kind of like Cracker Barrel, but much better flavor. Like
Food
the
was
same
whack.
kind of food, yes. We had fried chicken, fried okra. We had a
Roast beef.
chocolate pie at the end. And some of the food had Jack Daniels in it. It was amazing.
It was so good. And they taught you a history lesson, and it was great just meeting with all the different people you got to eat with.
Yeah, 'cause they
sharing
were-
stories.
Yeah. 3 of us were military, and we were sharing military stories. That was kind of funny.
It was funny, and the gentleman that sat next to us, he reminded me of someone I used to work with at the post office. I swear they could be brothers.
What's that say behind you there on it?
This is a Jack Daniels rocking chair.
Look at that.
I want to take it home. It's very comfortable.
Everything Jack right here in Lynchburg, Tennessee.
I think whenever our friends come to visit, we need to bring them here.
This would definitely be at the top of the list.
Absolutely.